Hello there, 4th and 5th graders, and welcome to your next math lesson. Today's math lesson is called Mixed Numbers and Improper Fractions. So please open up your math notebook, turn to the next available page, and write that title at the top. Mixed Numbers and Improper Fractions. Okay, this is a little bit of a repeat lesson from the last math lesson, which was just called mixed numbers. So it's going to be it'll be a little bit easier for anyone who really, if the last math lesson clicked for you, this one will be easy. If the last math lesson didn't click for you, this is kind of another opportunity to make it click, because we're really kind of talking about the same thing. We're just more focused on the relationship between mixed numbers and improper fractions, how they're both showing different versions of the same thing, and how to change from one to the other. So let's say you go to a restaurant and you get some pizza, and 4 pizzas are delivered to your table, and they're all cut. Each of the 4 pizzas is cut in 4 slices. So cut these in 4 slices with me. And as soon as the pizza gets delivered, you eat 1 slice, okay? Now, after you eat that 1 slice, how much pizza do you still have left at the table? Let's say your cell phone rings, you pick it up, it's your friend. He's like, "Hey, are you at the pizza restaurant?" And you're like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "How much pizza do you still have left? Because I'm hungry." And you feel a little upset because he's trying to mooch off of your pizza that you bought. But since you're a good friend, you're like, I still have a lot of pizza. How much pizza would you say that you have? Well, you would say, I have 3 whole pizzas. So that's the whole number 3. And then you would say, what fraction is this? Well, this is cut into 4 slices. This shaded slice is gone. So how much do you have left? You have 3 out of those 4 slices left. So this shows 3 whole pizzas and 3/4 of the 4th pizza. So you have a value between 2 whole numbers, between 3 pizzas but less than 4 pizzas. So you have 3 and 3/4 pizzas. Okay, now we can also show that as an improper fraction, because we could show it as the improper fraction just saying how many fourths it is. How many fourths do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You have 15 fourths. So you can see that there's 15 fourths here. There's 1/4 of a pizza 15 times, because you have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fourths of a pizza left. So you can see that it's 15 fourths of a pizza when there's a picture drawn of it. But how would you go from 3 and 3/4 to 15 fourths? In other words, how would you change a mixed number into an improper fraction if there was no picture and you couldn't just count the fourths? Well, here's what you do. Anytime you want to change a mixed number to an improper fraction, you follow these steps. You multiply the whole number times the denominator, and then whatever answer you get, 3 times 4 is 12, you add the numerator to that. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15, and that's how you get your new numerator. And then the denominator just stays the same. Whatever the denominator is over here, you make that the denominator over here. Let's do another example of a mixed number. Let's change it into an improper fraction, this time with no picture. Let's say we have 4 and 7/8. And we want to write 4 and 7/8. We have it as a mixed number, but we want to write it as a fathead, as an improper fraction. Remember, here's what you do. You do the whole number times the denominator, and then you add the numerator to that. So you do 4 times 8, that's 32. Then you add 7 to that. What's 32 plus 7? It's 39. That's your new numerator. And then for the denominator, it's whatever the denominator here already is. So it's 39/8. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 3 and 1/2. How do you change this mixed number into an improper fraction? You multiply the whole number times the denominator, and then whatever answer you get, you add the numerator to that. So 3 times 2 is 6. Then you add 1 to that 6, and you get 7. That's your new numerator. And then the denominator in the improper fraction stays the same as whatever the denominator is in the mixed number. It's 2 right here, so it's 2 right here. So 3 and 1/2 means the same thing as 7/2. Now, let's show a picture of that. 1, 2, 3 cookies. They're each cut in half. And then the fourth cookie is also cut in half, but you eat one of those halves. How many cookies do you have left? You have 3 whole cookies and 1/2 of the fourth cookie. So that's 3 and 1/2. But you also have 7 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's why 3 and 1/2 means the same thing as the improper fraction, 7 halves. 7 halves would just be kind of a weird way to say that you have 3 and 1/2, though. That's why it's improper. It's not the right way to say that particular value. This is the right way to say it. This is the wrong way to say it, but it still means the same thing. It's the wrong way to say that value. That's why it's called improper. So even though it's not the right way to say it, you still have to know how to change mixed numbers to improper fractions, because being able to change this into this becomes useful when you're doing operations with fractions and with mixed numbers. That's why you have to be able to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 5 and 3/4, and we want to change 5 and 3/4 into an improper fraction. Here's what we do. Remember, you multiply the whole number times the denominator. 5 times 4 is 20. Then you add the numerator to that. 20 plus 3 is 23. And then whatever the denominator is here, 4, you make the denominator here. So 23/4 means the same thing as 5 and 3/4. So that's how we change a mixed number to an improper fraction. You multiply the whole number times the denominator, and then you add the numerator to whatever that answer is. That's how we got 23, and then the denominator 4 stays the same. What about going the other direction? Let's say we have, so that's how we change a mixed number to an improper fraction. How do we change an improper fraction to a mixed number? Let's say we have 17/6. That's an improper fraction. Let's say you got that as your answer when you were doing operations with fractions. You can't leave it like that because it's a fathead. It's improper. We have to make it proper. We have to show it the right way. And the correct way to show this improper fraction would be as a mixed number. How do we change an improper fraction to a mixed number? You simply divide the denominator into the numerator. So you write a long division problem where the numerator is the dividend and the denominator is the divisor. And then you just divide. How many times can 6 fit into 17? Well, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18, so that's too big, so it can only fit in 2 times. Then you multiply. 2 times 6 is 12. Then you subtract. 17 minus 12 is 5. Now pay attention to this part. This is important. You make a fraction right here. Whatever the remainder is, that becomes your numerator. And whatever the divisor is, remember that was your denominator over here. So whatever the divisor is, that's your denominator. So it's 2 and 5/6. So 2 and 5/6 means the same value as 17/6, but 17/6 is improper, and 2 and 5/6 is the right way to show it as a mixed number. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 13/4. And we want to show 13/4 as a mixed number instead of an improper fraction. Remember, you build your den and you write this fraction as a long division problem. The numerator is the dividend and the denominator is the divisor. Okay, the way that I remember which one goes in the den and which one goes outside is I think, okay, 13 and 14 are having a wrestling match right now. if 13's on top, he's obviously winning. They're wrestling to see who can get into the den first. If 13 is on top, he's obviously, if you're wrestling someone and you're on top of them, that means you have them pinned to the ground. So 13's winning, so he's going to be able to get into the den first. That's how I remember which one goes in the den. 13's winning, so he gets in the den. The 4 is losing because he's on bottom. He's the denominator, so he gets left outside. So 13/4 gets rewritten as 13 divided by 4. How many times can 4 fit into 13? Well, 4 times 3 is 12, and that's as close to 13 as we can get without going over, so it can fit in 3 times. Then we multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. Then we subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. And then the fraction is 1/4. Whatever the remainder is, that becomes the numerator of the fraction. And whatever the divisor is, that's the denominator of the fraction, which it was already the denominator over here. So the denominator really just stays the same. So 13/4 written as a mixed number would be 3 1/4. Okay, I'm going to give you some independent practice. For the independent practice, what I want you to do is write this mixed number as an improper fraction and write this improper fraction as a mixed number. Okay? Go ahead and solve both of those, do them independently, and then once you've finished, well, pause the video, solve both of these, change this into an improper fraction and change this improper fraction into a mixed number. Once you've done both of these and you think you have the answer correct, press play on the video again to see if you did it correctly. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, hopefully you solved both of these. Hopefully you turned this mixed number into an improper fraction, and hopefully you turned this improper fraction into a mixed number, and then you pressed play on the video to see if you got it correct. If you didn't do that, go ahead and do that now. Now let's see if you got it correct. In order to change 7 1/6 into an improper fraction, what you should have done is 7 times 6, which is 42, then you should have added the 1, which is 43. That's your new numerator. And the denominator 6 stays the same. So 7 1/6 written as an improper fraction would be 43/6. Now 32/9, that's a fathead, it's an improper fraction. How would we write it as a mixed number? Well, what you should have done is built your den, put the numerator as the dividend in the den, and put the denominator as the divisor outside, sir. Okay, now we divide 9 into 32. How many times can 9 fit into 32? Well, 9 times 3 is 27, and 9 times 4 is 36, so it can't fit in 4 times. It fits in 3 times. Now we multiply. 3 times 9 is 27. Now we subtract 32 minus 27. Now we could borrow right here, but we could also just do this in our heads. What is 32 minus 27? It's 5, because look, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And so now we make a fraction next to the whole number. Whatever the remainder is, that's the numerator. Whatever the divisor is, that's the denominator. So 32/9 written as a mixed number would be 3 5/9. Hopefully this lesson made sense to you today. Go ahead and make sure you do the quiz, which is attached under today's video inside of the Math Google Classroom. In fact, I will take a look at that with you really quick. So here's today's quiz. You just click on that. And it says, choose the answer that has the correct mixed number and improper fraction to mix the shaded model. So how would you show this as a mixed number? So write it as a mixed number on your scratch paper and then change it into an improper fraction and choose the correct answer here that has it written both ways. See, like this first answer choice says 1 3/4 equals the same as 7/4. Is 1 3/4 how you would write this as a mixed number? And if that's true, is it true that 1 3/4 would be written as an improper fraction as 7/4? And this is the same kind of question here too. Same kind of question here too. Sorry, those eggs are a little bit blurry, but you can still see it. And then which answer choice shows 2 3/4 as an improper fraction? So write 2, I'm sorry, not 2 3/4, 2 3/5. So first write 2 3/5 on your scratch paper, and then on your scratch paper change 2 3/5 into an improper fraction. And then which answer choice shows 30/4 as a mixed number? So on your scratch paper, do the division problem to change 30/4 into a mixed number. Then there's a few word problems which you have to read carefully. This one says, Winifred walked 13/3 miles. How far did she walk, written as a mixed number? And then there are 5 4/5 cups of milk left in a carton. Which answer choice shows that amount as an improper fraction? 10/3 is a blank fraction. Is it proper, mixed, improper, or inappropriate? Eulalie needs 2 2/3 cups of sugar to make cupcakes. Which improper fraction names this amount? So which of these shows 2 2/3 as an improper fraction? Go ahead and do your very best on this quiz, and you know if you get a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, you will get paid Raider Bucks. So do your best, and I will catch you next time. That is Mr. Dauber signing off. How do I get out of this video? There's supposed to be a little, here, let's try clicking on this. There we go. Bye.